Dictionary.com defines an unplanned approach as impromptu, done without preparation, unwitting, done without awareness, spontaneous, done without thought. Wait a minute. That means you guys don't have a plan?
No.
Well, that's dumb. You might as well start the show.
Get out of here. Punk, come down here and start playing around. Yeah, right.
Hey, Dad, can I be on the podcast? Yeah, we'll let you do the intro.
Yeah.
Nice. Very nice. Well, enough about the Mexico, obviously. You said you do have one more story, but, the construction talk kind of gave me the bug because I might have shortened myself a little bit. My brother and I did spend a lot of time in my dad's crawl space because of flooding issues, I guess. I don't know. I mean, I just remember him always bitching because it always flooded down there when it rained, and then you get obviously you don't want your foundation.
I'm tired of it flooding down here.
No, wait a minute. Hold on. You got to understand. Everybody knows what a crawl space is, right?
Yeah.
So down, in, under.
Yeah, right.
And you've only got about 3.5 feet.
It's gross. Right. And there's shit in there. It's just, I don't like shit. I don't like gross stuff. I don't like snakes. I don't like any of that. He's like, him and Stink love that shit. I mean, love it. Back with the snake story.
You're down there throwing snakes at one another.
I'm out there. I'm there I'm looking for spiders. I'm that big of a pussy. Yeah. I'm looking for spiders. I'm looking for raccoon eyes and shit. And you know how I'm like, Johnny, go get it. It's over there. It's over there.
You hear gravel as he's trying to scramble ass out.
Well, I mean, if you remember, it was wet down there. I knew it was wet down there. How
sure.
He knew, I don't know. But anyway, he'd send us down there to look for leaks.
Right.
So
that's right. That's how it started.
So why both of us had to go down there, I don't know. But he's got both of us under there. Well, he also has to.
Because it makes him happy.
His ass isn't going down there.
Right.
But Kyle, he's going to direct the work that we're doing under there.
Dude, well, real quick on that. My dad's, a well-known fact, he's quadriplegic. My dad is always directing the work.
Right. So,
I'm not doing that shit, but I'll tell you how to do it.
Okay, now I want you
You can't even say anything. I can't do it. You guys are doing it. But this is the way I want it done.
Right.
So I want you to picture how you might direct work for people, kids,
without walkie-talkies, right. No cell phones,
right. No walkie-talkies. How do you think this played out? He's over
here. I'm over here. We're like, where are you? He's like, I'm in the bedroom. So we shuffle our asses all the way back to the thing, and he'd be kicking the floor.
Right.
He would. He literally, and then he would yell, "Are you here yet?
Yeah.
Are you here yet?" And yeah, we're here yet. Is this leaking over here? There should be a pipe.
Yeah, no, nothing's leaking.
So he'd walk across the house, and then after a while, smart ass here, because I wasn't this smart, right? Smart ass says, "Just quit answering him." So
I'm the favorite.
We've been crawling around in this wet pea gravel for half an hour, 45 minutes. So Jason goes, "Yeah, just stop answering him." And we did. And he lost his mind walking on us. "Where are you guys? Where are you?
I know you son of a bitch is going to hear me down there."
And then finally we hear because you can hear everything.
But we're down there laughing. We're finally on our backs just laughing our ass off.
Because you can hear him walking, too. I mean,
because he's stomping around.
Yes. Part of the problem was when the banging started getting mixed up with, because he'd bang, and if we weren't down there yet, he'd start walking. So we're listening to the banging as he's walking. And it's like playing Zelda or Pac-Man. You're like, well, shit, now he's banging over here. Stop banging over there.
Stop banging on the table, though.
Oh,
and then you start getting there's bad traffic down here.
There is no water under the basement right here. We have checked this plumbing, and this plumbing is fine.
Well, he finally, you hear the back door open and shut, and he's walking. Now we can't hear anything, so we know he's in the grass.
So he's going to stick his head in the...
He's yelling into the crawl space, "Are you guys still down there? Where are you?" And then didn't we start going, "It might be over here." And we're banging on now we're banging.
Right.
He's trying to find out where we're at.
He was getting so pissed off.
Well, you just sold me down the river. Now he knows who's guilty of that.
Right.
Like, this is ridiculous, man.
And then,
he's going to be sent home. Mystery solved.
Hey.
He listens to it and he goes, I I knew it. That's
the
He
effort.
would yell at your mom.
probably would be the case.
The effort culminated in me having to dig a sump pit with a half shovel under that cross.
I was
Oh
under there
my
too
God.
for that. I was under there
by hand, and this is a 3 foot by 3 foot,
Oh, yeah.
3 foot deep hole by probably 3 or 4 feet wide. It's like you got to go dig a sump pump. It's like, hey, you can't.
You're right.
It doesn't work under. You
It's
can't
no good.
use a shovel
You
under
can
a
do it.
house. He goes, oh no, we just cut the handle off. It's like,
Right.
So now what am I digging a foxhole in a floor?
Right. So your elevator
Chopping?
story, Kyle, we don't want to fucking hear it.
And we did. We dug a hole
did.
down there, and he got this big black thing, and we just put it in there. And he goes, someday I'm going to put a sump pump in there.
That's right.
For years, I think it was only probably 10 or 15 years ago that he actually had the pump put in.
Oh my gosh.
Well, here's a good one. So a couple of years ago, he calls me, he calls Johnny, and he calls my brother-in-law, Jim, who you've met, the big tall guy.
Sasquatch guy.
Yes, the big dude.
He's 6'11" and a half.
And I say 7 foot, and he's like 6'11". I go, we round up the midgets, round up.
Right.
We
I
round
might
up.
be 6 foot.
Yeah, we're in the lollipop.
I'm probably
guild.
6 foot.
Anybody under 5'8" rounds up. That's me.
That's right.
So he calls and he's like, "Hey, we got to get this garage," and we're always willing to help and all that. And he's like, "I got all this stuff in here, and you guys could probably use it, and you can take whatever you want." So we show up,
Right.
and he does have a bunch of shit in there,
Right.
And there's some cool shit, and there's some shit that's worth some money,
Right.
and there's
And then
so,
there's just shit.
So we start pulling stuff out,
Yeah.
and he's labeling it as we're pulling it out. Like, oh, you know what? Somebody, it's probably me, made the mistake saying, "Dad, you can scrap some of this. You could probably get some money for some of this."
Right.
So now the conversation starts from, "Well, I could probably sell them, right? Those are worth like $800." He's like, "Well, put that one in that. Hey,
Right.
put it in that pile." So now
What
we're
the hell?
dividing
Yeah, right.
shit from shit
Right.
that is worth something. So we get it all done. This is the shit we can't take because
Right.
it's worth money.
Because it might be worth
You guys
money.
can have all this shit.
You have your pick of it. You can cherry pick all this garbage.
Right. Hey, and you know
You
what
got
the
an
funniest-
empty milk jug over here.
He's like, "Nobody wants this?" We're like, "No, we don't want that. We don't want any of that shit.
None
all
of
that
it.
stuff over there you could keep."
Right.
So we end up throwing all that stuff away. You know the funniest part of that story, Kyle? All that stuff he kept to sell 8 years ago.
Still there.
Hey, one of these days we're gonna get a call and say, "You guys want to come over and go through this stuff? You can take whatever you want."
Right. Well, that's what you do. I think all this is garbage.
Pump.
Did he give you the
Yeah,
pump?
he gave me a pump.
He had some super industrial pumps from the from the cement pours.
From the
he used to
cement
do.
board, you're right.
No. In my case, I've got a basement that the sump pump, when we get rain, it runs. Like it'll cycle every 10, 15 seconds on a bad day. And I have had my basement flood. And the one time that I had the basement flood before we finished it, I ran to his house on my way home from work when my wife said there's 2 inches of water in the basement. And I said, I called him up and said, "I'm going to need one of those pumps."
I know.
And
this one.
and he's like, "Oh, okay." I'm like, "My basement's flooded," and he was good about it. He's like, "Yeah, whatever you need." So I went and, oh my God, that pump! I've hooked up a bunch of stuff. Water's still coming in. Some pump's not running, and now you can't get in the pit because there's 3 or 4 inches of water over the whole basement. So I hooked that thing up, got the plugged in. Boom! I mean, the hose, the hose on the end of the driveway's whipping around and everything else.
No, I know exactly what you're talking about.
I'm like, holy shit!
I mean, like college.
It's it was a hell. It worked.
You know who you are, Jenny.
Steve. See, no. Here's the key, though. The pump's got to work faster than the water running into the sump pit. So you need a good pump for that, and it worked out. So
He
finally,
still got one.
what's that?
He still got one, I think.
He gave me one that's good, and I got all the accessories. I literally have it all set up so in an emergency,
Damn.
it works like if I lose, I've got a sump pump and I got a battery backup. If everything goes to shit, I've also got that pump. The only thing I don't
You know what
have is a
happens if
generator.
everything goes to shit here? It just goes to shit.
I go ahead and get out in the car.
See the difference? Are you seeing a difference here?
Say to your wife, "Hey, I'll see you tomorrow. Why don't you call somebody and get that? I got an appointment to make."
If your basement floods, you just put on flippies.
Well, I came down here
Right.
and I started calling people and yelling at them, like my contractor and shit. I got shit in my. I called his, and then finally, I remembered why I didn't put a nice floor. I just did, it looks nice, but it's
Sit there. That doesn't.
Well,
look
that's
nice.
where
We're over there. Oh, wait, what about there?
he tried to set me up with that.
I did, and he didn't take the bait.
Well, he was too focused on telling the story.
He was
Kyle did go,
zeroed in.
What do you think of this floor? And he's like, oh, yeah, after he'd asked me before, I'm like, here we go. This is fantastic. Fantastic.
Yeah, I was softballing him. That's for sure.
Well,
I pitched a couple up at him, but he was in on what we were talking about.
When he comes back, and everybody, how everybody does that, though. Most people that sit down, we tell them to bring stories. So when they go to tell the stories, they want to make sure that they tell the story and it's funny and it's read. And he was the same way. And if he comes back on again,
I think he will. I think he had a good time.
He was.
We should have him back on, and I'll come over here and we'll get him all riled up.
You want to see it live?
That'd be great.
We'll get Manny sit down and we'll tell him, Dad, we were lying. We didn't get vaccinated. That'll start everything.
You know what this asshole does? He will literally start shit. And he'll tell my dad. And sometimes it's a diversion, clever and everything else,
Right.
but now we've all picked up on it. So even my wife will get on the act and tell my dad something about Jason or Mandy, and he'll go, what? And then he's off on a tangent. Like, woo, dodge that.
Yeah, I used to walk.
I
used to walk into rooms before they figured it out. And I'd say something on one of his hot button topics. I'd say, hey, and I'd grab my beer or whatever, and I'd walk out. 15 minutes later, I'm just sitting there listening, and now they're all trying to explain why no, that's not it. I'm just dying in the other room. Oh, his kids have picked up on that too. So his
That's
kids know
great.
that I do it too. So the best now, I don't do it as we try to figure out how to do it to each other, but it's even more fun when like one of the neighbors, he's like,
It doesn't know any better.
he doesn't know any better, and you'll say, "You ask my dad about da da da." He'll ask me, like, oh shit, he just walked into that one. But it's all. I mean,
Well, it's like
it's a fun game now.
Kind of the same, but kind of different. Anybody new that comes into the family or somebody that's not super aware, around Christmas time, get my dad a pair of totes socks. Do you know what I'm talking about? With the sticky bottom.
Yes, I know what.
Yeah.
So he
Hospital
doesn't.
socks.
So he doesn't slip.
Right.
So I almost missed that.
So what?
Kyle. This is
what he likes, Kyle.
So what started this is my mom's mom. Before she passed, she got I don't know had Alzheimer's, and when it got really bad,
That's not funny.
It kind of is.
No, not yet.
Kyle says, "I don't remember.
I
very
have
much.
confidence you're going to make this funny.
says,
But right now, it is
Right.
I don't remember
funny.
much about it."
It's but she did one of the Christmases. She sent him totes. That's what started it. Like she forgot he couldn't walk.
That's funny. You brought
Oh
it
my
back,
God!
Kyle. You did bring
We
it back.
laughed and laughed and laughed. Kurt would date somebody, and I would pull her aside, and be like, if you're gonna get Jody something for Christmas, totes.
He likes.
And he did. He would get totes. He'd get it just every once in a while. We would fucking laugh.
You brought it back.
Either Nana is hilarious, or
Oh, yeah.
She's worse than we thought, guys.
Oh
She's
yeah.
worse. Why is Jody in a wheelchair?
Well, and
she's worse than we thought.
I mean, we were all pretty warped. She knew she had it, and we still she would laugh about it when she would remember, because I handed her the same Christmas present. Everybody jokes about it, but I literally did it. She'd be like, "Oh my God, look at this! That's so great." Yeah, I gave that to you.
Okay, so
hold
hold
on.
on.
So nice. You're so nice. And
So hold on,
got
I'm
one of
gonna rip on myself here for a second because I don't have Alzheimer's yet.
yeah, I know. I'm staring it in the face.
Yeah, but right. So here we.
You can tell by the face.
Yeah. Look at me.
I thought you were talking about me. I'm like,
No, because I have both my grandmothers.
Is it on my forehead?
Both my grandmothers have it. I just figure I'm getting it.
Oh, you're good. You're good now.
You look a little stupid. We're just attributing the stupid to Alzheimer's.
I haven't noticed anything.
Kyle, we'll let you know.
Right.
So
when
anyway.
I slip from stupid to Alzheimer's.
It's like, you just said that.
And you've done it twice.
So there have been 2 occasions. This happened to me twice. The few times I've ever bought my wife fancy stuff, like a
Lingerie.
silk blouse or something.
Nice.
Apparently, I bought her the same red silk blouse 2 years in a row for Christmas. And she's like,
Hey, you look great in that.
You should wear it a lot.
I was puzzled by the expression on her face when she opened it. I said, "What do you think?" She goes, "I think you like it.
Right.
I do.
Right.
I do. I think it's going to look awesome on it. She goes, yeah, I think you might because you got it for me last year.
I've worn it 6 times.
You know where I shop.
Macy's. That's where I got that. Right. Macy's. I still remember.
Do you know what I did one year? So you're talking about gifts like that. So one year I went around, and this was before it was popular on TikTok, wrapping up their own shit.
Oh, yeah.
So I wrapped up a bunch of my dad's own shit one year, and like.
And wait. When he says he wrapped it up, he's talking newspaper and Band-Aids. I'm not kidding. I am not joking.
That's why Brianna referenced that when we talked about E.T. She's like, yeah, I got it. I also got to read the newspaper and had some extra Band-Aids. I didn't. Then when you're single, you don't have wrapping paper and shit.
Right.
But I did get a newspaper subscription. So, and I thought I was trying to bring it back. But I wrapped up all his shit. Pair of his slippers and all this shit.
That's great.
And I made sure that all the grandkids have a bunch of shit. We have a little bit less than them, and then my mom and dad usually have 2 or 3 things. Dad had like 13 gifts. He's like, "Wow, this is great."
Somebody's really thinking about me.
Oh my God, you shouldn't have spent
you
money.
shouldn't have
I can't believe you did all this.
He's open, and I started with shit that he might not know it's his. And he's like, "Oh,
Right.
well, yeah, this is nice."
Right.
Thanks. And
I feel like I've already got a wrench.
I used to like the 5th thing, and now I'm starting to recognize. He's like, this looks familiar. And by like the 7th one, he's like, "Did you just wrap up a bunch of my own shit?" And I went, I did.
Hilarious.
Hey, his excitement level went from kid at Christmas to God dang it.
Like, hey,
Dad,
Dad, guess what? He didn't spend any money on it.
and still got the best laugh. Still won the party, Kyle. Still won the party. Tell that story about the friend of yours about doing the basement when he asked you about his basement.
So one of my best friends, Greg. Greg also a construction guy. At one point, he was
Smarter than you.
maybe a little, but don't tell him that.
He'll hear it. I'm gonna text him as soon as you leave. Hey, you get some pop. You get some pop. You're not gonna like the second half of the story. But the first half,
You look gold. But,
starts great.
So he was in construction too. He knows a few things here and there. Well, he was having a problem in his. You were talking about flooding in the basement, right?
Sure.
So he asked me one time. He called me over, and his basement leaked. He didn't have it finished or anything, but it was a block basement wall. These are the worst. They're always going to leak, right? So he said, "God, how could I get? We want to finish the basement. What would I have to do to stop the leak?" And I said, "Well, you got 2 options. You're either going to dig up the whole outside of the house, and you're going to put stuff down on drainage board and everything else, or." I said, you'd have to cut the concrete right up against the wall on the inside, dig a big trench. You'd have to put drain tile all the way around. You'd have to do a sump pit. I said, Greg, it'd be a nightmare. It's just going to leak. So, okay, that was the end of that conversation. About a year later, he calls me up. He says, "Hey, we're just doing the concrete now on this. Could you come over? We could probably use your help and some guidance on this." I'm like, "You're doing concrete where? What are you talking about?" "At the house. Remember I told you I had that basement leak?" I'm like, "That was a year ago." He's like, "Yeah, I've been working on it," and I go over there.
Trying to break out Alcatraz.
Concrete trucks, it's about an hour out or whatever, and they're trying to do the little plan on how they're going to get out. And I go down in the basement, and by God, he had cut all the concrete out around the wall, dug about a 2-foot hole all the way around the basement. He had gravel filled and everything else. And I was like, "Greg, oh my God, Greg." I said, "I don't know for sure if this is going to work."
That's right. This is just me talking.
I said, "I had 6 beers, Greg. This is a terrible idea."
I'm like, "Holy shit, I can't believe." "How long did this take you?" He goes, "Well, I've been working on it since, we talked about it."
It was your idea, basically, John.
Yeah. I'm like, "Oh my God, Greg." I said, I told you that to explain to you that this was a terrible idea. Your basement's always going to leak and you shouldn't do this.
So you're trying to tell him, Greg,
Yeah, so he's, it worked. It worked. Concrete truck shows up, and we got the little pump thing going through, and we're carrying concrete all over the basement. I don't know how I got roped into this shit.
Right.
Like, "Oh, it was your idea. Maybe you should help with it." I'm like, "God, I hope it works."
Greg was super happy about it until he walked out and he gave him the bill. "Hey, Greg, by the way, here's my consulting fee for that."
Right.
I didn't know it worked, but since it did, you owe me about $5,000.
Yeah, $1,500 for the idea, and another $2,000 for my ass being here and helping you with it.
Raking out the
Could
concrete.
you imagine? I mean,
It did work. It worked.
when you were telling that, I was thinking, have I ever said anything where, you're just having a conversation with a buddy? I will tell you how. Not ours isn't like that. That is, if that goes wrong, holy shit. And what I'm getting ready to tell you goes wrong, it's just a bad day on the golf course. But so we were sitting, my buddy and I were sitting, having some beers at a BW3's one time. And out of the blue, for no reason, he goes, "You know what would be funny?" And I'm like, "Oh, I'm always up for funny." Yeah,
Right.
I know a lot of
I've
things
had a
are
couple
funny.
thoughts on this.
I said,
I think funny shit all the time.
Hey, I bet yours is as good as mine would go. So he goes, "Man, golfing in Halloween costumes. That'd be hilarious." And I just went, "That's happening." Just have you ever been in a conversation where it turns into something?
Well,
where you're just
Look at this show.
You're just
I don't think that we have ever said on air, but I have heard of that idea, and I've wanted to do it for a few years. And I remember bringing it up.
we did it.
Months ago, and then
Right.
you said, "Well, I've done it." Oh my God, because I think it's beautiful.
It's
I
the most
love everything about that idea.
The best part of it is watching other people watch your people come in. Like one
Right.
year, I swear to God, one of my best friends comes. I was sitting at the table to check people in, and this thing falls out of a truck, and I'm like, "What the hell is that?" Mm-hmm. And it's Yoda, and he's dragging his golf clubs. Now Yoda's only 2'5", right? So it's a full blown Yoda, and he's got a golf strap around his shoulder, and his clubs are dragging behind him, and I'm like, "Holy shit!" This was like the third year, so the costumes got better and better,
Right.
And I'm like, "Holy shit!" Well, he gets to the table and he throws his money down. I'm like, "Who is this?" This is one of my best friends. He pulls the mask up. He's a construction guy, so he had knee pads on. So he's coppering out. Craig walks all the way from his truck, and I'm like, "Holy shit, this is amazing!" Now he would have won the costume contest had one of my other best friends' brothers in a 35-degree weather not come into the parking lot, hit his brakes, squealing, jump out in his tighty whities and a racing helmet, rolling around in the woods going, "Help me, Oprah! Help me, Jesus! Oh my God, that's Ricky
the
Bobby."
invisible flames are burning my friend.
And everybody's just like, "Wow, Craig, that's hilarious. Jeff, bravo!" Dude, he comes in and it's freezing out. That's really all he's wearing, tighty whities, a pair of shoes, and a helmet. And dude, diving into bushes in the summer hurts, right? You're just like,
Oh,
"Shit,
yeah.
that hurts." Now it's freezing. He literally ran up and dove into the bushes next to the table and started rolling around. And I'm going, he's getting poked and prodded. He's like, "Help me, Jesus! Help me, Oprah!" I mean, it was
Help me,
crazy.
Oprah.
Well, and how many people had to have medical attention over the
Oh
years?
shit! I did mean to tell that story because somebody brought that up. They said, "Did you talk about the broken leg?" And I'm
Yeah,
like,
they
"Oh my
had
God,
to
I forgot
stop
about that
because they
stuff."
didn't have medical staff.
Right, I forgot about that stuff. Good night, buddy. I love you.
I love you too.
No, so one.
That's so sweet of you, Kyle.
It's all about love down here.
Don't be gay.
I didn't think this is how we go. I knew you thought he was funny, but damn. So one year, we did have some minor accidents. So
Okay.
one year,
As there should be.
one year,
If it's funny, somebody's going to get
one
hurt.
of my best friends is in a cart, and we're all coming back. It's all ending and stuff. And there's a
By the way, there was a lot of drinking that went on at these.
Oh, yeah.
if you left that
Absolutely.
crazy. We used to, so a couple years, we always wanted to do those gags. If you put an extra 20 in or something, your team could, for every 6 beers you drank, you pull up every pull tab you take off your beer. For every 6 one of those, you got to take a stroke off your score.
Oh.
So it was a shit show.
Oh,
I
yeah.
mean, shit show.
Everybody's housed.
Wait, we won that year, man. That's the only year we won. That's the only year my team won it.
We shot 20 over, but
Hey, look, we were 2 under for 18.
It
Right.
sounded a lot like this. Yeah, bring it ready. So my buddy, evidently, his wife shows up, and we're like, "What's she doing here?" And they had been driving, and they're all drunk, and one of my buddies had turned the cart, and he started to fall out of the side, so he put his foot down and snapped his leg. Hey, guess what, Kyle? He was never allowed to play in the golf outing again. That was year 3. 2 years later, we have the golf outing, and there's a guy there that's played for several years. And back then, I was doing pharmaceuticals, so I was in this family practice office. This is no shit. This is a great story. I mean, and I see this guy, and I'm like, hey, man. And we're on the east side. We're all from the south side. I'm in this east side office, and I'm like, hey, what's up, man? Everything okay? What are you doing here? He goes, well, and he kind of does this. He does this, puts his head down. I'm like, dude, what the hell is going on, man? Is everything okay? Uh-huh. He goes, well, I'm here for an ultrasound. And I'm like, an ultrasound? I said,
are you pregnant?
No, I said, hey, no, he said, with this girl. And I'm like, oh, man, hey, man, congratulations. That's how he goes, no. I said, what are you talking about? He goes, well, you remember the golf outing last year? I'm like, my golf outing? And he's like, yeah. He goes, well, I went back to this other bar with a bunch of other people, and we just continued to drink, and I hooked up with this chick. And she's having a baby.
Oh, that is great.
I'm like, we got a broken leg.
Happy.
And probably in that golf outing, 8 to 9 broken golf carts. I mean, when the guy has to come to you, go, who are the guys dressed as the Russian comrades? Oh, shit, we don't even know them. He's like, they broke the axle on the cart and the roof is gone. I'm like, yeah, they're over there. Here's their name. I mean, it cost us $600-700. I mean, it used to get, and then you heard the story about Bridezillas.
Yep.
When we were doing the golf, and everybody's in a costume, and there's a wedding, and the bride shows up, and everybody's in these Halloween costumes on the most important day of her life. You got Frankenstein out there. You got Pinocchio, where his nose doesn't grow. It's his other thing. I mean, he got all kinds of shit going on. And
That's her fault. Who the hell has a wedding in the fall?
Right, I agree. What are you doing?
But no, that's somebody brought that up, and they said, have you not talked about that on the podcast? I said, I haven't, but I forgot.
We'll have that a whole episode one time.
We're just going to have a Halloween.
Yeah.
I probably could get some dudes in here to talk about that, actually.
I was trying to find mine because you're talking about wrecked golf carts. I did a charity thing with my son. Yeah, we put it in a creek.
Did you bail? Did you bail out?
No.
How drunk was your son?
So everybody got mad because he was actually driving.
He was 8.
He's like 12 or 13.
We were teaching him how to drive.
And he was doing just fine. And there's a part you're going downhill, and there's a sharp turn. You know where I'm talking about then.
Hey, I did that with an actual vehicle.
Well,
in high school.
Yeah. No shit. We'll tell that another time.
But he comes down and he's doing
pissed.
just fine.
It was my vehicle.
Nice.
First car he ever bought himself.
And you put it in a ditch?
I got out of the ditch, Kyle.
Well, thanks to 2 sycamores.
Hey, I bounced off about 6 trees, and then when it hit the ditch, I got airborne, and when it hit, all the tires blew. It was, and I drove it. I continued to drive it.
Well, yeah,
the 4 miles.
Well, I mean,
to
how
school.
are you going to get to wherever you're going?
That was my thinking.
Right.
I said, you know,
I'm
what,
not getting to school. I'm not leaving my brother's car out here.
They'll be a lot happier if I get it to the school. It won't do any more damage.
You should have seen it. You should have seen the spectacle of that shit sitting in the parking lot. Dude, flat tires, mud all over it, windows all broken out.
To check it out, dude. People are out there taking pictures. If we'd had cell phones, it would have gone viral.
It would have.
That's how ridiculous it looked.
And it kind of did go viral because I had a day off work. I was working construction at the time, and it started raining. Mm-hmm. Well, it had been raining. That's why there was mud everywhere. So I had to go over and give Mom something at school.
All right.
And somebody we knew said, "Oh, I heard about your brother's accident on the way to work, on the way to school this morning." I'm like. And the source was a little questionable.
Right.
So I'm like, yeah, okay, whatever. So didn't think anything of it. And then I heard it from somebody else. I'm like, holy shit, this might be a real thing.
I was already famous, Kyle.
So so no cell phones, no anything else. It was viral. This is St. Barnabas. Things at Ron Colley. Right?
I heard it's 3 towns over.
There were people in our school that were coming over to check it out. But I did, in all honesty, there was a payphone in our school. I did try to call my dad twice to tell him that it happened. And
I don't know what happened, Dad.
No, I told him.
The car was out of control.
Like,
I was driving super good.
He's like, how fast did you go? I said, I don't know, probably 40. He goes, all right, 40. Get in the car. We get in the car. He takes it at 40, the turn that I took.
In a van.
And this is 40 seems okay. I go,
this was he wrecked a Ford Escort.
Maybe it was 70. Maybe it's 75.
I was like, 55? He did it again. He goes, he gets through 55. He goes, yeah, I didn't have any trouble going through there at 55. And I'm like, okay, Dad, I have no idea. Fast enough that it bounced across the road into those woods, through that ditch, airborne to that stop sign. I don't know. You calculated. Jesus. I know where you're going with this. No explanation.
He's trying to math it out.
He was not a physics guy.
I was a daredevil.
Right.
Luckily, everybody was okay. He had a car full of people. He had 5 people.
No, there were 3. There's one in the back. The other one was sick, and her arm actually busted out the damn window in the back when we hit the tree.
That was her fault.
Was her fault.
I did try to.
Well, I mean, come on.
Hey, I told her afterwards. I said I was going to ask you to homecoming. Not now.
Not now.
Not unless you fix that window.
That's right. Get that window fixed.
You got one more? You got one more Mexico story?
No, I've got a lot of Mexico stories, but I'll tell you this one because you mentioned it earlier. You know, get out in the countryside there in Mexico, and a lot of times what I do is be down there for a week. So sometimes we'd have to go to, we'd have a 2-3 hour drive, and you're out in the middle of nowhere. Well, sometimes you have to pull over and get something to drink. And sometimes the best restaurants are these little huts with these Mexican women that are cooking on stones and fire and everything else. Not very sanitary, but delicious. But other times they've got these rest stops, and these rest stops are not like our rest stops.
I know.
Not like our
I was
rest
here to
stops.
pee. I was out here to pee too. What were you doing? I was trying to just pee.
So you go
Something about Mary.
So I'm one of my colleagues, one of my best friends down there. His name's Roberto, and he was driving. I think we were going down to Puebla, Mexico. So it's about a 3-hour drive from Querétaro to Puebla. So we're out in the middle of nowhere. It's like, hey, Roberto, we got to pull over. I got to go to the bathroom. He goes, okay, we'll get some lunch and whatever. So it's not like they have restaurants, on the side of the road, in little complexes. It's just literally, hey, there's a tent. Let's see if they've got food. It's crazy.
I like it.
You go to the
Next.
It's actually way more my speed. I'd be fine. I wouldn't think a thing of it. I'd just be like, oh yeah, you got a burger?
Hey, is this heaven?
I had reservations, and then we started trying it. It's like, so this is some of the best. I mean, they are making everything fresh right there now.
Right.
I don't know how sick you should expect to get, but it was delicious the first
Don't
time.
put any water in it. Just don't put any water in it.
Anyway, so we go to stop at a truck stop, and they've got restrooms there, and we kind of pull up, and it's kind of a dirt road, and then a concrete apron. You pull up right in front of the I don't know what you call it, this block house. There's a little Mexican guy.
An Adobe?
No, it was a CMU block. But there's a guy sitting
from Pee-wee's Big Adventure. Man.
I know, I get it.
There's a guy sitting in the chair in front of the bathrooms, and I didn't think anything of it. I hop out of the car, and Roberto was saying something as I slam the door, and I run up there, and this guy kind of stops me. He said, in Spanish, he's asking me, ¿Tiene dinero para paper? I'm like, do I have money for the paper? Because I had to take a shit.
Right.
He's asking me if I have money. I'm like, what money? I'm like, well, yeah. ¿Cuántos dineros? I'm asking how much. He's like, 2 pesos. 2 pesos for a square.
Right.
He's talking 2 pesos for a square. Well, I don't have, all I've got is 20s, 50s, and 100s and 500s
You don't think
and pesos.
what kind of car were you driving?
So I walk a company car. Roberto's driving.
It looked nicer than most. He's like, these idiots.
So I walk back to the car. I really got to go to the bathroom. Roberto, he goes, yeah, I was trying to tell you that you're going to have to, you're going to need money. I'm like, do you have any? So Roberto pulls out. He's going through his thing. He's pulling out these pesos. And how much toilet paper you think you'll need? I'm like, I don't know.
I had Mexican last night. You tell me, bro.
This could go one of 2 ways. I might not need any, or it could be a mess.
You don't feed the baby chili?
It's so weird. You just keep wiping. It's like I've got a marker back.
Literally, you give this guy money, and he like counts the sheets, tears it off, and he hands you a wad of toilet paper. It's like, God, I hope this is enough.
I'm going to need 12 of these.
Right.
12 of
Just give me the whole roll. I'm going to buy the roll, and then...
Well, 20 covers the roll.
I forgot. That's the other thing I forgot about.
How much for your shirt?
That's the other thing. He didn't give change.
Right.
Oh, shit. I knew that was coming as soon as you said all you had was 20s. That guy wasn't as dumb as he looks. He's like, these 2 idiots, they won't have any pesos.
To put it in perspective, in all fairness, 22 pesos is $1.
Right.
So he's charging 2 to 5 pesos per square. So You know, it might cost you the equivalent of a couple of bucks.
So why didn't you just buy the roll?
I didn't think that was an option. Well, he wasn't selling rolls.
That's why he's not podcasting. He's not having success on the podcast.
Well, I've got friends that hunt all the time, and you're thinking, you know, how much toilet paper you bring? They just wear like 3 white T-shirts.
Oh, Jesus.
Well, I do a lot of hunting. That's the stupidest thing I ever heard. What the hell? A roll of toilet paper
No.
fits in
I'm
your
saying
backpack.
I'm saying at the camp, fine. But when you're out hunting and you're half a mile away from camp, no, they just take their knife, cut the bottom off of one of their shirts, wipe it.
I never thought of that.
Hey, the good news is,
See, look at
those
that.
will be the first people killed when the war starts.
I always had a thing of tissues that was in the backpack that I carried to the field.
Oh no, I know a number of people. They just wear an
next
extra
time my
white
dad's
T-shirt.
on, suggest that when he was hunting back in the day. Did you ever just take T-shirts
hold
out?
on.
Holy shit, could you imagine that answer? Because he always had toilet paper whenever we went out.
Let me tell you a story. Okay, now we're back on Dad. Sorry.
He's a good sport about it. He knows.
Well, that I
it's
mean, it's
funny.
not like anybody's saying anything bad. I mean, we're just having
Well, and
fun.
everybody.
But he's a staple. He's a great human being, great father, great guy.
It is just funny. I mean, and our kids will talk about
I
it
thought he
because
was great.
We're the same way.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure.
When this thing goes like big, there will be people talking about his episodes.
Oh, absolutely. No.
They were saying we had so much fun.
I called his buddies. I called some of his buddies, and I said, "You got to listen to this, man.
Yeah.
This is him on target. This is exactly." I'll tell you one.
And
cool
every
thing.
time we
wait,
stopped,
let me-
I was
I gotta
egging
tell
him
the-
on to do that voice. I
gotta
mean,
tell
God,
the
it was
hunting
tearing me
story.
up.
Hunting story.
So
Kyle,
here-
focus.
So here,
Sorry.
for years, for about 7 or 8 years, out of college, I moved around the country. So I moved back, and we have a cousin that owns a beautiful, beautiful piece of property in Ripley County, about 90 acres or 100 acres, whatever it is. And
Oh, this is a good
so
story. I know
my dad wants to introduce me to our cousin, great guy. So I've gone down there and met him, and we're going hunting down there. And Dad's going to go hunting with us, right? So we get up early in the morning, and like I said, it's 90 acres, so it's a good big piece of property. You can go a long way from this cabin. It's a beautiful cabin. It's a great setup. So Dad, he thinks he knows the property, and we're getting ready, and I'm waiting and waiting and waiting for him as he's loading up. He's got a backpack. He's got a flashlight, a compass. He's got an emergency radio. He's got a roll of toilet paper and all this other stuff just in case he gets lost in the woods.
Sure.
So finally we're all ready to go. We've got we get outside, we load our guns and everything else, and we start walking down this trail, down to the river. We get about let's say 300 to 400 yards from the cabin. Now you can turn around. It's still dark out. You can turn around. You can see the cabin. My dad goes, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna go sit right here by this tree. Now you need to keep walking down this thing, and it'll go around the bend, and you go on over there. I go, You're going to hunt here? You've got your compass. You've got an emergency radio. You've got a strobe beacon. You've got a roll of toilet paper. You're 300 yards
You've
from
got
the
a flare
cabin.
gun?
You can
call the space station.
You can see the cabin from here. It's like, yeah, I just don't want to go that far.
But he was also in his 60s, but that is funny. That is actually a great skit for Saturday Night Live or something, dude. Yeah, I'm good. I'm going right here.
Right here.
What?
You got a flare gun. You got a satellite radio.
I assumed we'd be walking for hours.
Got 2 bags of beef jerky, some dehydrated water. What's dehydrated water? Well, you put water in it, it turns into water. What? I don't even know where you find this shit.
He was
He's
a
got
survivalist.
He's
He was
got
a
a
survivalist.
coat. It's 6 o'clock in the morning. It's 80 degrees out.
That is funny. I forgot about that.
All right, sorry.
No, that's all right. That's good stuff. That's good stuff. I mean, it is funny. It is funny. The thing I'll tell you off the air what I was going to tell you. But no, they're great stories, and the funny thing about it is all of our buddies know that too. Like if I bring my best friend on here, man, I'll know the 2 stories he'll tell you, and one of them is him dropping me off late to leave for spring break. I was supposed to be home at a certain time. The movie we went to went a little bit late. He pulls up. My buddy's got a Mustang. He pulls up, and I'm panicking the whole way home because I'm like, holy shit, dude, we're 10 minutes late. And I kind of get in the driveway, and as we pull up, my sister, who at that point was probably in 4th or 5th grade, is standing at the door waiting. And
With a smile on her face.
She's the sentry that my dad put out there.
Oh, yeah.
Tell me when Jason gets home.
this is no shit. We pull up, and you see the door shut, and her run back, and I know it went something like this. He's home! right? So my buddy, Andy, kicks me out of the car. He's like,
Right.
he's not sticking.
You're on your own.
Yeah, he's been around long enough to know, man. He's already out of the driveway. Here comes Dad, and Andy does tell this with a bit more flair than I do because he'll say it like this. Man, your old man comes out. Your old man comes out of there flying. He's in his tighty whities and white ankle socks, and he's kicking. He's trying to kick my ass around the front of the lawn. He's so pissed off, and I'm like, but they all know
At midnight.
Right.
Everybody knows that.
Well,
shit.
12:10.
Right. And you know what's the worst about the whole story? We still beat everybody to the meeting place by 20 minutes.
Right.
So it was completely
So it didn't
unnecessary.
matter.
But the funny thing is I was telling all my buddies, you got to listen to this, you got to listen. And everybody knows our dad and knows that he is funny, man. He is
He's
funny as
like
shit.
I said, I'm not when he was great. It was great.
But they were all
I
excited.
had a hell
They're
of a
like,
time.
Oh, yeah. And I was trying to explain a little bit about that
Yeah.
episode. And they're like, oh, shit. They're picturing in their mind all these stories like, oh, hell yeah, I'm going to listen to that one.
Right.
That'll be great.
That'll be great.
So we blow him some shit here, but it's all in good fun. And I think we've only scratched the surface on the stories he could probably
Yeah,
tell.
because you got, going to the Gus Macker and Boomer is at it, the pacer. Grabs my dad's chair and shoves him all over the place, and he loses his freaking mind. I think he still hates Boomer. That's like 30 years ago.
There's nothing he can do
Son
about
of a
it.
bitch.
He's
He
a
was
prisoner.
so mad.
I hate basketball.
I thought he was going to stand up.
I watched 3 minutes. I thought he was going to stand.
He was so mad.
Okay. We can't
We were like, okay, Boomer, that's enough. and Boomer was just running and pushing him.
We can't get any lower than that, Kyle. John, I appreciate you being here. I hope you had a good time. That was funny.
That's fun.
That's a good trip down memory lane. I forgot all about we weren't even going to go into the crawl space stuff, Kyle, but the shit that comes back is amazing. Hope you had a blast. Hey, and
I know we did.
We only got through, like we told Corey that day, man, we only got through like 2 of the 285 things he sent me in the outline. He sent.
That means you got to come back.
Do you see the different? But there's a distinct difference, right?
Oh, yeah.
He's got all the shit in case his stuff floods. You know what I'd do? I'd call him. Hey, can you bring all your shit over to my house? It's flooding.
Well, but before we started recording, I mean, one of the first things out of your mouth is you guys are great, but sometimes you start on a thing and then you go left. Then you go right, then you go down, and then I don't even remember what the shit you guys were talking about. And then you kind of circle back around.
It's as if this is unplanned chaos. Oh, yeah,
That's
is.
it.
A little
That's
bit.
it. With that,
No, I got to say
ahead.
this, though, Kyle. So you guys have joked about me thinking, Kyle, your wit, quick wit, and off thing. I'm telling you, that's funny. It's funny shit. The stuff you come at with in a left field, it adds. It's gold. Sorry, Jason. You're
Gold.
funny
it,
too.
it is
Gold,
No,
Jason, gold.
No, I forget. There was one episode you said something, and I when you hit it on the nails, like the other day when you brought the whole
The
Faulkner thing
Scout.
back.
Well, did you see? I did it on Facebook to him. Yeah.
I didn't see that. But I mean, there are some times you do a callback, man, where even and I give credit. And I'm like, bravo, man, that was good. And then you do stuff we talk about later, and I'm like, what? And then
That wasn't worth a shit.
Then you have to explain it to me. And I'm like, oh,
That really
shit,
sucked.
That was brilliant, too. I just didn't get it. Know your audience, Kyle. Know your audience.
Like the whole ball through the roof thing, or maybe it was something went through the roof. I just assumed it was
The
a ball.
bowling thing. Yeah,
Right. Anyway, so
Hey,
no,
we're
you
gonna-
guys do a great job.
Thanks,
You
appreciate
guys
No,
play
thanks
off
for
each
doing
other
this.
very well, and it has been a ball.
Well, this is going to be a couple episodes.
Probably 3.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right. Hit the outro. Hey, thanks, man. Appreciate it. It's awesome.
Thanks.
Bye.
That's it for today's episode. But before you go, ask yourself this. What's your unplanned story? Because here on Unplanned Approach, we don't script the chaos. We celebrate it. Real people, real moments, real life plot twists that no one saw coming. Whether it was a chance encounter, a missed train, or a wild pivot that changed everything. We want to hear it. Got a story that deserves the mic? Hit us up. Submit yours at unplannedapproach.com or find us on socials at Unplanned Approach. Until next time, stay spontaneous, stay real, and never underestimate going in without a plan. This is Unplanned Approach, where the detour is the destination.